Hello everybody, how y'all doing today? What's going on? I actually don't have blush on. I literally, that's me sweating. I guess the only reason I was thinking about if free will actually exists or not is because I think it would affect the idea that we can actually create consciousness in artificial intelligence. If we don't actually have free will, if we created artificial intelligence, it would be on a similar level to us, in my opinion, in consciousness levels. But if we do have free will, then I feel like we can't create that necessarily, or at least it's less likely. Specifically possessed by this, it doesn't. What is this about? If anyone else has read it, oh, is this one of the fanfics? Are you telling me you're reading sexy Marvel fanfiction? What, like giant Thanos fucking purple dick situation? Like what? Now I'm interested. But don't do that. Well, guys, don't tell me not to do something. You know what happens when you say that? Don't Google that. Nah, it's fake. Why is it yellow? We're gonna move on. Because the worst part about this is, by the time we're done talking about a jar, more people come in asking what the fuck is the jar, and I have to explain what a jar is, and by the time I'm done explaining it, another person comes in asking what a jar is. How am I gonna source this? Logistically, I'm not exactly sure. Project brainstorm. Let's come up with some fun ideas for projects. Miss Madam, the police are on their way. Monica, I will cancel my subscription. Sat outside with a cup asking for a spare cup. At this point, I'm just confused that you haven't been banned yet. I didn't do this to myself. I did. I kinda did. How are the cats? Great. Any advice on how to have a conversation? Try to listen more than talk. Try to actually listen to what they're saying, and don't try to think about what you're gonna answer while they're talking. I've been thinking about doing this series on YouTube where I interview the Twitch chat, like a reverse Q&A. What's your paranormal experiences? But this is not a terrible suggestion to do, like, how did you find out about sex? Because I feel like some people could have pretty good stories, so I'm gonna write that down in case I actually finally pull through with this at some point. The manifesto is not out, but I did write something down recently in the manifesto, which I feel like I should check what it was. If it was an interesting topic or not. That was just my baseball bat, don't worry about it. I just keep it right by the setup so nobody fucks with me. I just hit myself in the head. Okay, two things I've written down, I just remembered. What do you imagine when I say the word property? A big field? A land? Right. Now, toothbrush. Property is not something you own. Property is technically the actual relationship to the object. It's not the object that you own, it's the relationship to the object and other people respecting your relationship to the object that you own. That kind of blew my mind. The other thing that I wrote down, it's not space and time, it's space-time. You should be using the term space-time, not space and time. Because it's always a place and a time. It's never just one. Would you own your own body though? Interesting question. Maybe your body is the only property you actually do have. Yeah, it's more like we're renting this. I mean, the government can take away your freedom, therefore you can't really use your body to your full potential, therefore you don't really own your body. And I feel like the government kind of owns my body when I think about it, actually. From come to consciousness. Who am I? A celestial being. Stardust. I suppose the brain is just renting the body, we are the brain. I don't think we're the brain. I think we're the consciousness, not the organ. Does the consciousness come from the brain? What if the brain is more of a antenna and the consciousness comes from somewhere else and we're just channeling it into this body, into this lens through the brain? You could argue that your mind is your only property. Unfortunately, even body can be taken by others, but your mind is only yours. I think your mind is more yours than your body. But also, is it yours? 1984 vibes. That's exactly what I was thinking when I was saying that. And then I was thinking about how you can't actually necessarily own your own mind either because of all the MK Ultra stuff and, you know.
Your mind can still be taken. How often do you scroll social media?
But you lose your mind before your body, though. You lose your mind before your body. So we're talking as you get older. You know, people with schizophrenia and stuff like that. Like, I'm always interested in that, actually. Do you really own your own consciousness if you kind of lose it? You can lose it so easily.
But that's like the hardware breaking.
So what you're saying is like MK Ultra, when they brainwashed people into whatever they brainwashed people into. It's more breaking the hardware than the software. But when you break the hardware, the software breaks.
You can lose it but not give to anyone else. That's why it's only yours.
Brainwashing is actually big. Maybe we don't own our mind or anything. Maybe everything you do and every decision you make is based on your experience and your DNA and your ancestors and all of these things and society and things that we've been brainwashed into making these decisions. Therefore, everything is a simulation and this is all fake. Here we are, we got there again. Back to the simulation. There's always a discussion about, can we create a being with consciousness, like artificial intelligence with the same consciousness than we have? But we don't even understand our own consciousness, so how do you know if you can create it? Because a lot of people seem to think that you can't recreate this any other way than the human form or like the biological form. But I feel like that's not true. I don't know why people think biological is so much better. Is this a simulation? Can we please have access to teleporting? I know! Jesus, can someone hack the freaking mainframe yet? Can we all please have access to unlimited money? Yeah, where's the freaking motherload sheet? Thinking about, there is one thing I do that might change my future. I want to see both before choosing. You would like to be able to predict the outcome of your actions. Some people kind of do that by just thought experiments, I guess. I have a question. What do you think what happens when we die? Interesting one. I've been kind of inclined more over the years to reincarnation. There's a lot of different ideas that I have. When I say reincarnation, I don't necessarily imagine the typical thing.
We just cease to exist.
That was a lot my opinion when I was a teenager. Now that I'm older and I've read more, I've become agnostic, and a lot of the ideas that I would find ridiculous seem to make more sense to me. Now that I've done a shit ton of psychedelics, I could even see the ascending after death into like the next dimension.
I went from Southern Baptist to an atheist.
Oh, yeah. I notice a lot of religious people usually, when they exit, go for extremely like we just died. There's no God. Yeah. And I get it. I feel like it makes sense that it would happen. What's the earliest memory you remember? Okay, I just talked about this recently, and I don't know if people would agree with me, but sometimes it feels like the earliest memories I remember are not from experiencing them, but from like being told about what I did as a kid. Is that weird? Because I feel like people will not be able to relate to this.
I can relate big time, especially after watching old home movies. You are told stories so often it becomes like a memory for you.
Okay, good. Because I felt like that's kind of weird. I think I have a fear of death. Oh, I feel like a lot of people do. That's very natural. That's what drives you as a human being. Yo, I wake up to this critical thinking. Now I'm questioning everything. I'm sorry. As I got older, I realized a lot of the stuff that I was told by my parents or whatever, it was not, it's not fucking set in stone. Like whatever your parents believe doesn't necessarily mean is the actual reality, which you don't understand as a child. But then as I grew older, I realized that a lot of these beliefs are just beliefs and things might be different out there in the world. I also have this memory from my childhood that I can't decide if it was a dream or a real thing that happened. Is this real life or fantasy? What's the difference? I realized that I didn't care for religion at a young age. Someone told me that I was going to hell for playing Pokemon. I was like, well, I like Pokemon more than going to church. I like that. Czech Republic is very not religious. For me, growing up, wasn't really fighting against everyone around me believing in God. It was more like everyone accepted God doesn't exist. We're such an ungodly country. It would be rebellious of me to believe in God here, I'm fine with going to hell because I'm scared of heights. You guys are funny today. Mon, you're a massive help with my depression.
It's an effing pain and you always seem to put a smile on my face. Hope you get everything you want in life.
You're so sweet, Kuda. Stop, bro. The fuck? You're gonna make me cry, dude. Looking like my stepmom with pink hair. Who's your favorite Adventure Time character? Whoa, I guess Bimo. In the metaphysics of identity, the ship of Thesis is a thought experiment that raises the question of whether an object that has had all of its components replaced remains fundamentally the same object. That's a fun one. That paradox would be considered when it comes to transporting a human consciousness into a machine. Or with teleportation, like in Star Trek, right? When you have beaming up and down, if your cells are reformed and all new, is it still you? Lemon Grab is great. I forget about Lemon Grab. I hate him though. Thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you had a good day. If you didn't, or if it's the beginning of your day, I hope it's good. I'll see y'all soon. You're all cute as hell. Bye, Marceline Jeffo. Goodbye. Oh god. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to subscribe, drop a like, comment, tell me what you want to see on my channel, and I'll see you soon.